God's Entertainment, January 2nd, 2024. On the night of January 1st, my consciousness was transformed in radical ways with my out-of-body experience. As I was preparing for the out-of-body adventure, I knew I had to have the strongest, focused intention so that all my thoughts would be aligned like a sword of clarity, pointing me in just one direction in the infinite, multidimensional realities, worlds, and realms. From my previous experiences, I learned to first aim for the highest company and ask to be with Divine Mother and Divine Father. I simply insisted and allowed no other thoughts, as that would create options for other possibilities. I have exited the physical body dozens of times, and so I'm familiar with different stages of the process. First, I am aware of the body through my ordinary consciousness. This is a state we experience during the day when we identify with the body as our self, the person with a body and a face. After some time of focusing all attention within the spine and outside the third eye, relaxing every muscle in the whole body, breathing deeply and slowly, moving the focal point more and more out of the third eye while chanting a mantra, a very noticeable shift happens in the body. It can be experienced as a deepening, softening, warmth, a delightful wave that relaxes the body even more. The key is to recognize the shift and to move even deeper into it, as if the physical body started to sink blissfully into the mattress. The final stage is the process of separation, in which the physical body loosens up so much that it releases its etheric double body out. This can happen in several ways. One of the ways is floating. The etheric arms start to float out, as well as the etheric legs. The floating is often accompanied by ecstatic sensations. Using the will, one can fully exit the physical body and perceive the physical body laying on the bed while having a fully transferred consciousness and awareness into the etheric body, which is now the center of perception. The physical body becomes an empty vessel which maintains aliveness and even experiences itself as a physical body, but the experiencer moved out. I was thrilled exiting my physical body after chanting the mantra La Ra S, combined with Om, for about an hour in the middle of the night. I quickly moved out of the physical realm we are in ordinarily, and went through several barriers and portals that separate the many worlds. I first ended up in a very tall, round building that resembled a castle, kind of like a castle tower, hundreds of feet tall. Its walls were made of stone. The interior was illuminated by warm orange light. I immediately noticed dozens of beings in the round interior space that resembled an auditorium. I was viewing the space from above, aware of the absence of doors and windows. But this is not untypical for an out-of-body adventure. It actually happens often that our first destination ends up being a room or a building with no doors or windows and no way out. I learned in the past that the trick to exit is by chanting Om. Om serves as a magical, powerful key code to open doors, windows, and portals to higher realms and reveal the glory of these celestial realms of perfection. Fully aware, I invited everyone in the rotunda to join me in sounding Om. We all sounded several Oms together, like a beautifully harmonized opera choir. Instantaneously, a large window opened up in the ceiling of the rotunda, and bright light came flooding in, inviting us all to rise like angels floating into heavens. Father God immediately welcomed us all with his loving, caring, sweet, adorable voice and his formless presence. Divine Mother accompanied him and also chose to be present, but in her formlessness for now, and also her silence. I recognized one of the human beings next to me as Judith Kussel, who is a South African mystic. We exchanged our awe for our shared time with our divine parents, and both of us felt very excited about what humanity would experience soon. I felt like a child surrounded by friends in a paradise we call our true eternal home. Our Divine Father let us experience uncountable numbers of perfect worlds. I was specifically curious about the world of our grandson and the solar realities of other great suns. Our Father walked as his infinite presence beside me as I got to enter infinity of truly perfect worlds. Perfect, flawless worlds upon worlds. I started to hear the most exquisite classical music sounding from the glorious solar worlds. I adored their structures, with every grain of celestial sand emanating musical tones and colors as blissful waves of indescribable ecstasy. I bent forward to grab the golden crystalline sand and held it in my etheric palms. Every world was so perfect to its highest potential and beyond. There was nothing to improve upon, just to adore and melt in divine bliss. After visiting so many of these master worlds with Divine Father by my side, I had two simultaneous thoughts. One, I had a thought that now really makes me laugh. I thought, pure perfection upon perfection kind of gets boring after visiting infinite worlds when nothing could really be improved upon. Divine Father, of course, saw my thought and he laughed too. See, Divine Mother really enjoys these cosmic worlds. They are her hobby and entertainment, infinite, endless worlds and ever more. As he was transmitting the words to me in pictures, I saw the ever-expanding infinity of flawless worlds, the cosmic dream at its absolute perfection. My second thought was really a question to our Father. So what is beyond all these worlds? Again, of course, he saw my thought and responded immediately with an invitation. Beyond all the manifested worlds that you see is the Absolute. Do you want to visit the Absolute? How could I not? Feeling oversaturated with worlds upon worlds of nothing but marvel, I followed the Father into the field of luminous, shimmering white light. Once I entered the infinite, omnipresent field, I ceased to exist as a being. I became one with the milky white light. I was consciousness, but not identified with any forms. There were no forms, no words, no cosmos, no experience. There was no individual, just thick, scintillating light. Here I was not someone who can think as I. The I became the experience of existence without limits. There was no I as such. The I dissolved into massively ecstatic ocean of white, glistening light. After eternity in the light with no form, no experience, completely dissolved into nothingness and everythingness, the I returned in a form of a thought. This bliss, too, gets kind of boring after the eternal now. If I had a body to laugh, I would have laughed again. Our Father saw my thought, and I was immediately released back into the world of cosmic dream worlds. I felt slightly disoriented as I was back in a cosmic dream, filled with infinite spheres of divine creativity. Another thought arose in me about our planetary, earthly world with so much imperfection, with so much pain and suffering, and so much struggle. Divine Father saw my thoughts and smiled again. You see, struggle can be interesting and entertaining in a dream world where no character can be harmed and no danger is real. I saw all worlds now at once, and our earthly world did seem like a much more actionable and interesting world. Another reason to laugh. Divine Father delighted in my realization and responded, all worlds are divine entertainment. The earthly world is not judged or deemed lesser just because it is experiencing struggle and imperfection. I felt complete love in his words. This love felt so complete that nothing else could taint it. All is well, just as it is, and ever will be. I returned deeply satisfied into my physical body several hours later. I laid in bed, contemplating what I witnessed and realized. My consciousness was transformed in radical ways. My husband was now awake, and I shared my out-of-body adventure with him, realizing more and more that we are temporary dream characters in a dream world where imperfection is part of the design and that it is perfectly okay. My consciousness now accepted that dream worlds delight our Divine Father and Mother as entertaining movies and cosmic games. I felt a new sense of divine confidence and motivation to play fully and to play well, to have fun and to be entertained by the movie that I am in that we call this life. I realized that everything is possible and that an imperfect world has such a huge potential for improvement, and somehow that's exciting. Not because it is bad, but because improvement is a process of creating novelty, and novelty is essential to the expansion of creation. It requires creativity in the face of necessity. Great inner power awakens in those who wake up in the dream. And so, may we all wake up and enjoy this dream.